The news that a submersible craft carrying 5 people has gone missing near the Titanic ruins has stunned the world. We received dreadful news after days of hunting for the sub. Everyone assumed the 5 persons were still within the submersible, even if they had run out of oxygen. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about the terrifying truth of the Oceangate Submarine. Shocking. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. What happened? After the individuals on board purportedly died on their route to the Titanic wreck site, the wreckage of the imploding submersible was seen for the first time. 2 hours after descending, the Titan lost contact with the Canadian research ship Polar Prince. It was reported that the craft had 96 hours of emergency oxygen at its disappearance. However, time had passed. Then it was stated that debris from the missing submarine had been discovered nearby. Stockton Rush, the CEO of Oceangate Expedition, was one of 5 persons on board the sub, including the multimillionaire who aspired to be the first man on Mars. His business created the Titan, which cannot be submerged and returned to port like a submarine, specifically to allow tourists to explore the Titanic debris. Submersibles are known to have limited power reserves and should be launched and recovered with the assistance of a vessel above. GPS is not an option for this type of watercraft. Thus it communicates and receives orders using a customized text messaging system. The Titan is piloted by the pilot using a modified video game controller. Stockton Rush started last year that piloting the sub should be simple. Hamish Harding, a British billionaire, revealed in a horrifying final text from one of the passengers that the weather had been terrible for maritime travel on the days of the trip. "Hey, we're leaving tomorrow. It is satisfactory. They've been waiting for this because the weather has been poor." Colonel Terry Virts, a friend of his, received a note. A former NASA astronaut. Even though they didn't talk much about it, Virts knew his pal was aware of the dangers. He was well aware of the risks, without a doubt. In an interview with ITV's Good Morning, he stated that the U.S. Coast Guard uncovered human remains from the sub-wreckage. The debris they got was thought to contain human remains. The Marine Board of Investigation is presently investigating the evidence. The National Transportation Safety Board of the United States, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, the French Marine Casualties Investigation Board, and the U.S. The search. While searching for the Titan, a sonar picked up thumping sounds from where it's thought to be beneath the water. On Tuesday, June 20th, the Canadian P-3 aircraft observed underwater noises. Other search teams have also stated that more sounds at 30-minute intervals could suggest that survivors are still alive. As a result, the hunt continued for a few more days. According to Chris Brown, an adventurer and friend of one of the missing crew members, making continuous noise will not be picked up. However, doing it every 30 minutes suggests humans. Because it's cold and dark, they're all conserving oxygen and energy. However, the U.S. Coast Guard could not determine the source of the sounds or what they were. As a result, various theories have been proposed by professionals. Carl Hartsfield, a Woodhull Oceanographic Institution scientist, told a news source, "Of course, the ocean is a very complex place. Human sounds, natural sounds, and it can be challenging to determine the origins of those noises." According to Jeff Carson, professor emeritus at Syracuse University, the noise could have been a convoluted echo caused by sounds bouncing about the Titanic debris field. "It's just not bouncing off of anything," he added. "It's jumping off various objects, like dropping a pebble into a tin can, rattling around and confusing the location." Safety concerns. Oceangate Expeditions was frequently notified of potentially catastrophic safety issues with the submersible's design. Rush allegedly rejected their early concerns about the sub's dangerous materials, according to a local deep-sea engineer from California. "Someone is going to die in this thing, and you can't do that," said Liz Taylor, president of Dewar Marine Operations. While Taylor was creating the Titan submarine in 2015, Oceangate CEO met with him. Stockton thought he was on the verge of something dangerous. She explained that he wants to push the boundaries and experiment with new materials. According to a lawsuit filed in Seattle that year, David Lockridge, Oceangate's director of marine operations, published a report in 2018 stating that the sub under development needs additional testing and that passengers could be injured if it reached extreme depths. That year, the business sued Lockeridge for allegedly violating a non-disclosure agreement. However, the dispute was settled on undisclosed terms after several months. Oceangate received another warning in 2018 from the Marine Technology Society, which backed up Taylor's recommendations, saying that the corporation should submit its prototype to professional third-party testing before launching to assure passenger safety. On the other hand, Rush refused to comply and grumbled about the rules. He says there hasn't been an injury in the commercial sub-industry in over 35 years. Because of all the rules, it's ridiculously safe. However, because of these regulations, it has not innovated or grown. He employed carbon fiber to construct his submersible, which unfortunately imploded during its final dive. Despite the controversy surrounding Rush's choice to keep the Titan running as is, David Pogue, according to a CBS reporter who covered the Oceangate submersible in 2022, Rush was not a con guy, but was passionate about what he was doing and sincerely believed in it. But I don't think Rush is a con artist. He trusted his invention enough to entrust it with his own life, he said. Rush reportedly offered Las Vegas billionaire real estate developer Jay Bloom and his son seats in the fatal Titan sub. Due to a scheduling conflict and safety concerns, he declined the invitation. Legal experts. According to legal experts, Oceangate may be able to evade legal accountability by utilizing the law used by the Titanic's owners more than a century ago. The 172-year-old piece of legislation can potentially be a game-changer for the corporation, the 1851 Limitation of Liability Act. It's an intriguing scenario because it occurred in international waters. There are numerous complex concerns with the choice of law and jurisdiction about where conflicts may occur and what companies or entities of government agencies would investigate. According to Michael Vorosky, a maritime law professor at Tulane University, if evidence emerges that Oceangate was aware of specific design flaws or risks and proceeded with the project, he added that may prevent them from minimizing their exposure in the first place, even if they weren't exempt under the Small Vessel Exposure Act. All passengers on the exploration were made aware of the potential dangers. Previous expedition crew on board the Titan's deadly submersible recounted signing massive disclaimers admitting the threat of harm or death. Last year, Mike Reese, who boarded the Titan, stated, "You sign a massive waiver that lists one way after another that you could die on the trip. Before you board, you sign a waiver that references death 3 times. Despite this, victims' relatives are anticipated to sue the corporation for damages. According to University of Washington professor Tom Schönbaum, the nature of the agreements signed by the participants may bear a large portion of Oceangate's liability. Because it is against public policy to force you to sign a release of liability. For example, if you are on a cruise ship, the cruise ship cannot force you to sign one." Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.